Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, families on housing benefit can't afford 9 out of 10 privately rented homes in England, pushing many into homelessness. An investigation by the National Housing Federation has found that since benefits were frozen in 2011, there has been an 83% rise in the number of children living in temporary accommodation. It comes as the Bureau of Investigative Journalism revealed that the majority of landlords in Britain would not rent to people on benefits. Minnie Stevenson has been to meet one family living on the breadline.
This is England 2019. Mohammed, Wajida and their 4 children can't find anywhere to rent privately on their housing benefits. And now all 6 live, eat and sleep in just one room in this hostel for the homeless.
Minnie, this is our main room. I've never been in a camp or anything, but this is what I describe, or I feel like I'm in a camp. It's like I've been given a sentence and I'm in prison with my family.
They also share the space with guide dog Yogi, who lives in the only other room, the kitchen. 6 years ago, Mohammed started to go blind following a car accident, returning to London from Manchester to be closer to his siblings. Mohammed and Wajida are now on a council waiting list, having struggled to find any affordable private housing.
My mental state is absolutely killing me. Me being a man, the man, I have to show them that I'm strong to do this, to carry this on. But if somebody gave me a choice now that, Mohammed, you don't have to carry this on, go do whatever you want, I'll simply just go kill myself. Because that's the easiest thing to do. That's easy. Everything else is difficult, apart from that. So, no, it is what it is, isn't it?
Are you happy for us to keep filming?
Yep, yeah, no.
It's destroying our marriage, it's destroying our household, and what we try and do is just try and keep it together. But nothing's private here. We're people that have had professional careers. We're not someone that's just turned up. It could happen to anyone. You could be in a suit one day and then you could be, in a place like this. This is where we keep all the kids' clothes. Each child has a bag, a laundry bag. So they're the boys and these are girls.
Wajida used to be a school manager, but left to become Mohammed's full-time carer.
This is a sock and knicker bag that they have one each of.
And with no washing machine, just keeping on top of the laundry is like a military operation.
So when the kids come home and they've finished wearing what they need, everything goes into the bag here. It's ready for laundry.
Her family are now among tens of thousands who find themselves homeless. An investigation by the National Housing Federation looked at 75,000 private rental adverts in every postcode across England. They found 94% are now unaffordable for families on housing benefits, rising to 99% in some areas. And since benefits were first capped in 2011, there's been an 83% rise in the number of homeless children living in temporary accommodation. While benefits may have been frozen, rents continue to rise, and it's that combination, critics say, which is crippling for so many.
So ultimately we need to be building more social housing, but we know that that's not going to happen overnight. So in the meantime, we know that housing benefit is the most effective tool that we have to prevent people from becoming homeless in the first place and ensure that people can cover the cost of their rent.
The government say they have targeted extra funding at low-income households and increased some housing benefits.
A bird! Where you see bird?
Mohammed and Wajida's homeless hostel is miles from their children's school. 2 buses and a walk with 4 kids makes for an exhausting journey.
Come on, buddy.
Finally back from the school run, and you can see Wajida's relieved.
Come on, what's wrong?
Finding a space for homework's hard for their 8-year-old Zamzam, who's reserved the top bunk and is growing up fast.
I have to help Mum and Dad look after the others because Mum has to help Dad and I need to help the others with their homework and as well.
Do you find it stressful?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the things you can't let your kids play outside the door.
Yeah, it's a communal area. We just had someone come here, you just had to wave at him and...
Yeah. Properly. No, properly down. I need you down. Come on. Well done. Stay. Stay.
Despite months of disappointment, their family situation is not uncommon.
Just be careful, he's jumping.
When the Bureau of Investigative Journalism contacted landlords across Britain, the majority either wouldn't rent to families on benefits or imposed impossible conditions. Mohammed and Wajida say the homeless hostel may be squalid, claustrophobic, but it's the system they feel trapped in.
Give Mummy huggy.
Give Mummy huggy.
Good boy.
That report from Minnie Stevenson. Well, I'm joined now from Westminster by the Conservative MP Kevin Hollinrake, who's on the Commons Housing, Communities and Local Government Committee. I mean, these kinds of experiences are not just sort of an accident of history, are they? They're a direct result of government cuts and government policy in the way local housing allowance has been frozen and scaled down.
Well, Mohammed and Wajida's situation is totally unacceptable. Because of ill health, of course, they moved from Manchester to London, where the problems are much worse. We need to look at this. We need to get it right. Local housing allowances have got to allow for people to rent houses according to their needs. So we're not where we need to be. The government has acted to put more funding into the most expensive areas, but we need to do a lot more, particularly on providing truly affordable social housing right around the country.
But this is one of those areas of life in which, you know, for years we've sort of had Conservative ministers sort of blithely saying, well, we had to fix the roof and there was no money and we had to take tough decisions. And this is what those decisions actually lead to. Children living like that.
Well, there's no doubt that they say that situation is unacceptable, but there's no doubt some really tough spending decisions had to be taken. We're spending £153 billion a year that we didn't have every single year. So clearly we need to make sure we spend our money wisely, the taxpayers' money wisely, but I think it's fair to say the situation, I say, like Mohammed and Wajida, is unacceptable. We need to make sure they can live somewhere decent, and the best way to do that is to provide many more social homes to rent and to purchase.
And yet, at Conservative Party conference, the headline was about people, you know, extending the right to buy rather than extending the rights of ordinary people on housing benefit to be able to afford to rent something.
We need to do all those things. Those are not mutually exclusive. Right to buy is good as long as the money goes back into providing more houses.
No, but your party wasn't thinking about it, is what I mean.
I don't accept that.
You were thinking about, you know, getting people on the housing market and turning them into Conservative voters rather than the needs of people like the Ibrahim.
I think there's a place to try and provide affordable homes to purchase, but also affordable homes to rent. It's absolutely right we put more money into that, and we are putting more money in. Personally, I think we need to invest a lot more. I think the National Housing Federation is saying they want £12.8 billion a year and can deliver 137,000 homes a year that are truly affordable. I think that sounds like a good investment. It's the kind of investment we need to make sure that that family can afford to live in somewhere decent.
Do you think that kind of investment is going to be possible if we leave the European Union without a deal and we have the kind of bumps in the road, in inverted commas, that Boris Johnson talks about?
You're talking about infrastructure investment in housing. That's a very long-term, it should be a very long-term approach. I don't think we should look at the short-term issues that I think will be caused if we're left with a no-deal Brexit.
But that's about the money in the coffers, isn't it?
Well,
tax receipts, businesses going bust, all that kind of stuff that the government says, well, these will all be short-term things. That will mean there'll be less money to spend.
I think if you're talking about investment in infrastructure, be it roads and railways or be it housing, I think there's a long-term investments. We can borrow money very cheaply across the markets to invest in those kind of things. These are the right kind of investments for a social purpose and for the UK economy. So I'm very supportive of that kind of investment.
Yeah, I'm talking about benefit levels, though. Are you saying that benefit levels can still go up if the economy takes a hit because of Brexit?
Well, we do spend £24 billion a year on housing benefit. Of course, we've got to be careful what we spend.
Yeah.
But
can it go up?
I think, it go up in terms of extra money for people like Mohammed and Wajida. I think you have to make sure that people's benefits can cover a decent home in people's local area.
Kevin Hollinrake, thank you very much.
Thank you.